It's Thursday night, October 26, 2017. So, in the very early morning on Monday, I believe it was the 23rd, when I made a video, I said, I have a very clear picture of what I'm going to go through next week when I start treatment. But as bad as understanding, or as bad as the vision was at the time in my brain about what my understanding was of what that treatment was going to be, where I sit now on Thursday night, the 23rd, I should say the 26th, I, um, I really didn't understand like I understand now. So, first the surgeon, you know, kind of give me like sort of like a mixed bag of news that I spoke about. A, that the tumor appears to be a little bit higher, which is advantageous to me. Yeah, really, really, I believe that. And second, that after they do the surgery, then I'm gonna have a colostomy for 6 weeks. So I didn't, I didn't really. I thought that that was gonna be like maybe a small chance that that was gonna end up happening, but the way he explained it to me, I think it's pretty clear cut that that's almost a certainty. So you know, um, I'll come back to that in a minute. And then with respect to the port to get the chemo, you know, the doctor, like I said, explained to me, and he said that there's a chance you can get a pneumothorax, and quote unquote, it's not a problem because you put in the chest tube, but that's a very big issue, that chest tube thing. So, that's how the beginning of the week went, and that whole colostomy thing has been weighing very heavily on my mind, very heavily on my mind. So, um, so to add to all of that, I went and had the appointment today with the chemo oncologist. He's an alright guy. Of the three of them, he's the least that I like, to be honest with you. I kind of just didn't really take to him very well. And, TJ was with me. Anyway, he starts off, he tells me the story about the medication, which they call FU, which I think is really appropriate for this situation. And, and then he was telling me that this chemo thing really doesn't do anything. It just enhances the ability of radiation to do everything. And then he tells me something that the radiation people somehow neglected to tell me, which is incredibly bad news. And that is that since the radiation, in essence, creates a massive burn at the site of the tumor, that like 95% of the people have intense, excruciating pain when they go to the bathroom. And as a result, all of these patients have to be put on heavy doses, quote unquote, heavy doses of opioid medication. And he says that so, like, kind of casually, like, matter of fact, it's just another day at the office. For him. For me, it was like horrible news. And the impact of this, as well as the impact of the colostomy news, is just like devastating to me. It really is. I mean, I can laugh a little bit and put on a smiley face and joke around a lot, but the truth of the matter is that deep down, it is slowly, like I said, it's slowly killing me. As I said this in the video earlier as well, that it's not going to be the radiation. It's not going to be the chemotherapy that's going to kill me. It's this uncertainty, this lack of control, and the stress associated with it. And yes, now I'm beginning to see that maybe the radiation and the chemo will kill me, after all. And again, it continues to be a struggle because, like I said, I've been trying to avoid these kind of symptoms, GI, the whole gamut of the GI spectrum, and now I'm kind of walking right into that. And I don't really know how to cope with that yet. I like to come up with some strategies, and I'll try to do that. No, I had a session with Alyssa last night, and that went really well, and I think I'll be able to eventually find some way to get through. So with respect to the chemo, so that's going to just be flowing through my veins, and around she goes, killing everything in sight, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 6 weeks. But they can't crush the pill, and so there's no choice, really. So what happened? So I have to get an appointment so they could cut me open to put the port in. I called up Ravapati's office to try to speak to the scheduler. They were going to call me back in just a few minutes. That was at 2:30 in the afternoon or something, maybe 3 o'clock, but never called back, of course not. Then the next call that I had to make was to find out what time I have to show up for radiation on Monday. So on some hand, it was good news when she told me that I was put on hold, medical hold, and they weren't going to do treatment on Monday, and they don't know when they're going to start treatment. But I'm just know it's some bureaucracy crap. They're not going to let me get away so quickly. But it's just a little frustrating in that sense that they kind of build you up, and now you don't know where you are. So they said they're going to look into it. But then I called Dr. Esper's office because there was some little snag there. And when I called back, Esper again being the chemo guy, and so I spoke to this lovely lady who works there, and I said, listen, I need to sick Dr. Esper on Dr. Miller to find out about the radiation, and she assured me that would get done, and so maybe it'll get done, maybe it won't get done. I am not going to push. I do not give a shit. I do not. I need a break. It's the truth. And I need this. And I'm going to take that break. So, what's left? So, TJ, God bless him, tried to, pull the same shtick that Jen did, but Jen got away with it because I love her and I want to spend my life with her, so I'm not going to give her flack. And I know why she did it, and I know that why TJ did it, but I didn't take it so well when TJ decided to tell the doctor about how lousily I eat, because he just was painting half the picture, and not what's really happening on the ground. Maybe he doesn't know. I do not know. I certainly didn't then, but I've explained it when I had a controlled attack. And I said, I do not want to discuss this issue. Please, it's a sensitive issue to me. I am totally stressed out. I cannot handle listening to stupidity about how the fact I eat. And I go, and when you say that I just eat just potato chips and Coca-Cola and ice cream and French fries, it's not a factual statement. When Jen brought it up, it was a factual statement. That was my diet. But since that time, and I have the refrigerator to prove it, I've been eating peppers and onions almost every single day. I'm eating corn on the cob with butter. I eat substantially 50% easily less potato chips, and I replace that with nuts and with popcorn, lightly salted, lightly buttered. Most of the half the time, like last night, I totally burnt the popcorn, so I couldn't even eat it, and no big deal. Moving on. Instead of having ice cream all the time, I'm eating Raisinets to just get a little sweetness in the system, and barely at that. And the doctor didn't know what the hell to make of this argument, back and forth. And finally, he said, "Listen, it's very important that you have a lot of proteins. I don't know where the fuck I'm going to get that from, and that you have a high calorie thing." And then and I said, "Hey, look, I don't eat. I admit it. I don't eat fish. I don't eat meat, and I don't eat eggs. I mean, that's what it is." He goes, "Well, do you eat dairy?" I go, "Yeah." So he goes, "Listen, if it comes down to it, that all you're going to eat is cake and ice cream, I'm not going to be totally happy about it, but that's better than nothing because it will increase your proteins, and you'll have some protein, and you will have certainly the calories." In any event, that was the end of that appointment. And then afterwards, I explained to TJ, and I said, "I'm sorry I yelled at you, but it's a very sensitive subject. I've been listening to it for 55 years, and I don't need that stress right now." And number one. Number two is I am dealing with this whole thing about trying to eat better with Jen. And I had a subsequent conversation with Jen about this issue as well. So anyway, that's what happened today. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but that's the story. So I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.